Drivers are out in force, and by the sounds of the forecast, they have a lot of work ahead of them. We shot this video in Sioux Falls. As you can see, blowing snow even inside city limits is a reality for us right now. Officials expect to announce a snow alert at some point today. More interstate closures are also possible as the storm blows through. Right now, Interstate 29 remains closed from Sioux Falls to the North Dakota border. I-90 is closed from Sioux Falls to Mitchell. Roads are slick and packed with snow and ice, and it doesn't appear that that's going to be changing anytime soon. Authorities ask if you must travel to reduce your speed and take your time. If you can stay home, that's exactly what you should do. And for the latest our conditions out there, let's check in with meteorologist Scott Mott.
Well, widespread snow continues that along very strong north to northeast winds. We are looking at visibility, of course, to zero at times. That's the reason behind the blizzard warnings across eastern South Dakota and western Minnesota. Let's start with the snowfall amounts. Now, a lot of these reports, of course, coming in during the morning hours. Slayton, Minnesota, just over 7. Edgerton at 7. Brookings just shy of 6, and you could add a little bit to these totals as it's been snowing throughout the morning in many of these locations. Sioux Falls getting close to 6 inches of snowfall right now, and Aberdeen close to 3. And these numbers will continue to go up. You know, I would not be surprised if we added at least an additional 3 to 6 inches of snowfall. The snow will come to an end during the morning hours tomorrow. You can see the widespread snow western, central, and the eastern and southeastern Kettleland. And notice those darker shades of blue that are coming in. Well, that's the periods of heavy snow that we'll watch as we go through this evening. But I think even the evening hours through the overnight, we will continue with these periods of heavy snow. Also in the eastern and northeastern South Dakota. This is our Huron radar, able to pick up on the snow. And, of course, our wall radar, same thing, western South Dakota dealing with the snow. The visibility reports coming in a mile or less. And you see that, let's just say for the southern half of Kettleland, looking at visibility of a mile or less, or down to a quarter of a mile in Worthington and in Winter. So there's that blizzard warning in eastern South Dakota, western Minnesota. That's surrounded by the winter storm warning and the snowfall totals. This takes us through tomorrow. Again, a lot of this will come to an end during the morning hours tomorrow. We're looking at amounts of a foot or more. That will cover eastern South Dakota into western Minnesota. Temperatures right now, they're cold. Numbers near zero in western, central, and northern Kettleland, even a couple of areas that cannot get above zero. As strong north winds continue, we have that wind chill down to minus 25 in Aberdeen, minus 33 in Custer. We're down to minus 21 for the wind chill in Chamberlain and minus 11 in Sioux Falls with that wind gust to 36. And we'll continue with these wind gusts near 40 throughout the afternoon, evening, and tonight. We'll get a couple of us to sneak above 40 miles per hour. We're at 40 for Augusta and Watertown, and Spencer's been at 40, it seems like, all morning. So the forecast today, steady, cold, temperatures single digits, teens if you're lucky, as the blizzard will continue through the afternoon into tonight and even lasting into tomorrow morning. I'll have more details on your forecast coming up.
Thank you, Scott. A little over an hour ago, the city of Sioux Falls laid out its plans for this latest winter storm. KELOLAND's Tom Hansen joins us live now in downtown Sioux Falls with the details. Good afternoon, Tom.
I guess it's a good afternoon, Dan. It's a windy afternoon for sure. The plows have been out, as you said. The workers will be working 12-hour shifts. They'll be going 24 hours a day out here until these streets are cleared. They'll start out in emergency snow routes, which is what they're doing right now. They'll continue doing that until those snow routes are clear and the snow stops. Once the snow stops, the plows will run into the residential areas. The soonest they'll probably be able to do that would be tomorrow afternoon. That might be optimistic. So we'll see exactly when they get into the residential areas, maybe tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Snow alerts will be issued sometime today. That means all parked cars on snow routes like Phillips Avenue here need to be moved. Otherwise, they'll be ticketed and towed, of course. This is a 3-day storm, and that and the wind and the drifting, that's what's really making this a challenge for the plow drivers out there. Police tell us that on the outskirts of town, things are getting really bad. So they're telling people, avoid the outskirts of town if you can, and stay home if you can. That's their big request. If you don't have to be out, don't be out. The snow's going to get heavier, as Scott said, and it's just going to get worse, and the visibility is going to go downhill. So stay home if you can. Back to you, Dan.
Thank you, Tom. We also have a lot of closures to let you know about this midday. Just minutes ago, Sanford Health closed all Sioux Falls clinics. The health system plans to reopen the clinics for normal business hours on Friday. Doctors will be available for virtual care visits for acute care appointments. And Avera has closed all of their Sioux Falls and Brandon facilities until Friday at 10 a.m. Urgent care will have extended hours due to the closures. Sioux Area Metro will also be closed for the day. Officials will announce if the bus service is still suspended for tomorrow. And those businesses, well, they're closed for a reason. It's dangerous to drive today. Many county roads are in rough shape and conditions are only expected to get worse. If you must go somewhere, you'll want to make sure you have a full tank of gas, a charged cell phone, and blankets. You should also pack a first aid kit, an emergency kit with a shovel, flashlight, water, and of course, snacks. If you're hoping to board a flight and fly somewhere maybe warm to get away from this weather, well, you're out of luck. All the flights in and out of Sioux Falls are canceled, along with the majority of the flights at the Rapid City Airport. Passengers should check ahead before leaving home. In other news this midday, 2 proposals involving cannabis pop-up clinics have been killed by a state legislative panel. The bill sought to limit where exams could be conducted and also restrict their advertising. The people behind the pop-up sites, where practitioners examine patients who want to be in South Dakota's medical cannabis program, won't face any additional regulations, at least not this year. The Senate Health and Human Services Committee today rejected both bills on 4-1 votes. Time is running out on the governor's plan for a special committee to review future purchases of agricultural land in South Dakota by foreign interests. Yesterday, the Senate rejected SB 185. The bill's prime sponsor gave notice of her intent to reconsider, which would need come to meet the legislators' crossover day deadline yesterday. During the debate yesterday, supporters argued the proposal is a matter of state and national security, while opponents questioned the power it would ultimately give to the governor.
This is such a small percentage of land transactions, but such a small percentage that affects the whole state's security. I think we can slow a few of those transactions down.
What if they're wrong? What if the committee's wrong about some fact? What if the governor's wrong about some fact? Who do you get to go to? Can a judge overturn that decision? Under this bill, I don't know.
KELOLAND's Bob Mercer takes a closer look at the debate and if the proposal could have a future. That's on our Capitol News Bureau page for you right now.